Let's go Ravens! Something is happening behind the scenes in Baltimore that most people haven't noticed yet, and if this trend continues, it could completely change the course of the Ravens season before it even begins. There's a new energy, a new leadership, and decisions being made now that could define everything we'll see on the field in a few months. But before we delve into that, be sure to like this post if you truly believe in this team and leave a comment below saying, "I'm optimistic, the Ravens are coming back stronger," because I want to see how much confidence this fan base really has now. Now let's get to what's really happening. Now, let's be clear, Phase 1 of the offseason program isn't about running plays or intense on-field action. It's about meetings, strength and conditioning, and rehabilitation. But what makes this moment powerful is the commitment we're already seeing. Players showing up early, engaging with the new staff, and buying into a new system. That's how foundations are built. And 5 months from now, when the games actually begin, this is where it all traces back to. There was a lot of talk circulating before today, especially about whether Lamar Jackson would show up. That conversation is officially over. He's there, he's working, and more importantly, he's leading by example. When your franchise quarterback sets that tone on day one, it sends a message across the entire locker room. This matters. And speaking of tone setting, let's talk about Trey Hendrickson. His presence alone changes the dynamic of this defense. We're talking about one of the NFL's premier pass rushers, coming off dominant seasons with 17 and 12 sacks. He's already on the field, already moving well, already building chemistry with his teammates. Pair that with a rising player like Mike Green, who's expected to take a major leap after recording 3.5 sacks last season, and suddenly this defensive front looks dangerous. There's real belief internally that Green could double his production, maybe even hit double-digit sacks, playing opposite a force like Hendrickson. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The Ravens are not done building. There are still 11 draft picks available, and names like DJ Reader are being mentioned as potential additions to the defensive line. This roster is still evolving, and what we're seeing now is just the early version of what could become something special. But it's not just about star players or big signings. There's a philosophy being introduced here, something Jesse Minter has emphasized repeatedly: value. The goal is to create an environment so beneficial, so impactful, that players feel like they can't afford to miss a single day. And judging by the turnout, that message is already landing. Now, shifting gears a bit, there's another move that might not grab headlines but is still important: the signing of punter Luke Elzinga. He's a player the Ravens are already familiar with, having worked him out before, and he brings a solid college resume with 232 punts and an average of 43.3 yards. But let's be honest, this isn't about locking in a starter. This is about competition. And competition is something this team is clearly embracing across the board. Whether it's at punter, kicker, or even along the offensive line, the idea is simple: push everyone to be better. When players feel pressure from someone competing for their spot, it raises the overall level of performance. That's just human nature. And right now, the Ravens are creating that environment intentionally. Even the kicking situation reflects that mindset. Tyler Loop had a strong rookie season overall, showing reliability under 50 yards, but there's still room to grow, especially in long-distance accuracy and kickoffs. And instead of settling, the team is open to bringing in more competition to sharpen that edge. All of this, the attendance, the new coaching philosophy, the roster additions, the competitive atmosphere, it points to one thing: urgency. This team knows what's at stake. They know last season didn't end the way they wanted, and now they're laying the groundwork to come back stronger, smarter, and more complete. We're still months away from real football, but make no mistake, what's happening right now matters. These early days, these meetings, these workouts, they're shaping the identity of the 2026 Baltimore Ravens. And this is exactly where things start to get even more intriguing, because what we're seeing right now inside the building isn't just participation, it's alignment. Players aren't just showing up, they're buying in early, and that's something you simply cannot fake over the course of a long NFL season. When a new coaching staff comes in, there's always uncertainty. New terminology, new expectations, new routines. It can take weeks, sometimes months, for everything to click. But here's the difference with this Ravens group: they're attacking that adjustment period head on. They're not waiting for training camp. They're not waiting for preseason reps. They're starting now. And that could end up being a massive advantage once the real competition begins. Think about it. While other teams with established systems might rely on familiarity, the Ravens are building something fresh. That means new schemes, especially defensively, where Jesse Minter is expected to bring a completely different approach. And if there's one thing we've already heard consistently, it's that his system is designed to generate pressure and maximize the talent on the roster. Now imagine that paired with a fully engaged group that's been present since day one of the offseason program. That's how you close the gap. And going back to the defensive side for a second, the potential here is honestly hard to ignore. Trey Hendrickson doesn't just elevate himself, he elevates everyone around him. Pass rush is contagious. When one elite player demands attention, it opens opportunities for others. That's where someone like Mike Green could explode onto the scene. If offenses start double-teaming Hendrickson, Green is going to see more one-on-one situations. And in the NFL, that's where careers are made. But it doesn't stop there. The mention of potentially adding more pieces, like DJ Reader, shows that the front office is still actively looking to reinforce this unit. Combine that with 11 draft picks still available, and you start to realize something: this roster is far from finished. What we're seeing today might only be the foundation of something much deeper and more complete by the time week 1 arrives. Now let's circle back to special teams, because this is another area where subtle changes can have a huge impact over the course of a season. The addition of Luke Elzinga might seem like a small move on the surface, but it tells you everything about the mindset of this organization right now. No position is being overlooked. Everything is up for competition. And competition, as we mentioned earlier, creates urgency. It forces players to sharpen their focus, to improve details, to stay consistent. Whether it's a punter fighting for a roster spot or a kicker trying to prove reliability from 50-plus yards, every rep starts to matter more. And when you stack that mentality across an entire roster, you create a culture where complacency simply doesn't exist. Even the discussion around Tyler Loop reflects that. He had a solid rookie season, showed promise, and proved he belongs. But that doesn't guarantee anything moving forward. The expectation now is growth, improvement, response, especially after a tough ending to last season. And how he responds to that adversity could define his trajectory with this team. That's the underlying theme across everything happening right now in Baltimore: response. How does this team respond to last season? How do players respond to new leadership? How do young talents respond to bigger roles? These are the questions that are quietly being answered every single day inside that facility. And maybe the most exciting part of all of this is the unknown. We've seen these players before. We know what Lamar Jackson can do. We've seen flashes from Zay Flowers. We understand the impact Derrick Henry can bring to an offense. But we have never seen this version of the Ravens. Not with this coaching staff. Not with this structure. Not with this combination of urgency, competition, and fresh identity. And that's what makes this moment so compelling. Because right now, we're watching the early stages of something that could either redefine this team or fall short of expectations. There's no middle ground when expectations are this high. But if the energy from day one is any indication, if the attendance, the commitment, and the tone being set truly reflect what's to come, then this team might be closer to something special than people realize. Now I want to hear from you. Are you confident that this new era under Jesse Minter, combined with these roster moves and early commitment from the players, will finally push the Ravens back into true Super Bowl contention? And what's the one area you still think needs the most improvement before the season begins? If you made it this far, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and check out the next video on your screen, because we're going to keep breaking down everything happening inside Baltimore as this offseason unfolds.